Today, we are going to be analyzing lifting technique and jumping technique. If you want us to analyze your technique like this, go to thbstrength.com and sign up.
Okay, just watch this a couple times. This looks like a warm up. Super powerful. I do not know how you're handling that takeoff position. That's incredible. That's working for you, so I'm not going to tell you to change it. So the biggest thing I'm noticing is your knee is like semi-bent, but you're using it well. So I don't know. It's a little bit shocking, honestly. What I'm noticing is this position rate, if I can go frame by frame. Yeah. So right here, oftentimes what you'll see is the leg will be completely locked out and or damn near. Yours isn't, but you do a really good job of using it. I mean, this is a really low position here, like really, really low. Um, that's a very difficult position to get out of, but you do a pretty good job. Use a running arm action, and you're kind of like, so the left arm swings up, the right arm kind of chicken wings. Get a good knee drive here. Your timing's good. I mean, the biggest thing is that you're low, you're fast, your rhythm's pretty good. This looks a little mistimed, the takeoff leg. So I wouldn't try to push through the ground so volitionally. It shouldn't feel like a squat. It should feel like you're bouncing off the ground. Some of that has to do with posture and timing, and this is something that I've had to like relearn myself recently. So I would try to I would try to chase a sensation. Think about what your best jumps feel like and start visualizing that and start leaning into that. One foot is not as positionally determined as 2 foot, I would say. There's a lot of ways to be good off of 1 foot, and you're doing like 99% of them correctly. If you wanted like the high jump approach, it would say, hey, lean back, keep your hips higher. You are letting yourself crash down into the takeoff a little bit, which means your hips are sinking down. You're gaining negative vertical velocity, which is bad. I would say try to push your hips upwards and try to keep yourself relatively tall and your hips high. That should help you use your hip a bit more instead of kind of defaulting into the squatty strategy in terms of jumping. That looks really good. This is perfect, dude. Yeah, you really don't need much here. Maybe push the knees forward a bit more so you can keep your back a bit flatter. You get a little bit of butt wink on that initial start, but as long as it, I mean, if it feels strong and you feel stable, that's totally fine. I don't really have much to cue there. I mean, if I saw that in person, I'd say that looks good. That's what, oh, not bad. Okay, so your initial pushes here are awesome. Great, amazing. Then you start chopping. So see how your foot swings down by your ankle here? That's bad. You want to yeah, so see your foot staying really low here. That's not what we want. The first two strides you can do that. So this stride, yes. That maybe the second stride, yes. But then immediately you should be stepping over your calf here, not swinging the foot low through. Here, your body naturally wants to start stepping over the calf, but you're like, no, I'm trying to keep my foot low. You don't want to keep your foot low, especially this right leg. That right leg's a big problem. And then you're shorting all the strides. I want you to each stride should get bigger. Each stride should get longer, not smaller. You're doing like a reverse. You're opening up and then you're going the other direction. But let's see what your other rep looks like. First two strides are good. Last five strides are rough. Let's see what this is. Push, good. This is okay. Those are at the end is rough. The biggest thing I'm going to tell you is I want you to step through the ankle the first two strides, then step over the calf. So your foot recovers over the calf, then step over the knee. That'll fix like 90% of the issues you're running into there. Let your body naturally rise like an airplane. That's another cue I tell people quite a bit. Okay, you're starting the second pull a little bit premature still, and that's causing you to jump forward a bit. Let me see if you get your knees back better. Your arms are pretty long and your legs are, yeah. So you got to push the knees back more. I want to see your shin vertical. See how it's like an acute angle? It's less than 90 degrees with the ground. That should at least be vertical. And so what's happening is when you go to jump, that bar is getting pushed out really, really far. You do a good job saving it. Your feet are maybe a little bit wide, but for your build, I think that's fine. You do a good job despite that. Oh, that's way better than it's been. Look at that. So you're applying some force there. That's pretty good. Let me watch this a few times through. Good, good. Okay. So step four is where you're losing it a little bit. One, two, three, really good. You're actually making the same mistake as can't remember who I was reviewing, but I think John. You're making the same exact mistake he is. So this is actually like perfect. Like your hips, your shoulders could come up a bit. I would probably get your back foot in a bit, hands closer to under your shoulders. You want your shoulders in front of your hands. And then what that'll do is it'll allow you to apply more horizontal force, but you will have to push your shoulders upwards a little bit. But this is pretty good. Like I'm actually okay with this. This foot underneath the hips, your torso is maybe a little bit too far down, but you do a good job. You balance out of it. You get good horizontal projection. This one, really, really good positioning, but look at the foot. See how it swings through and you're almost scuffing your foot on the ground? At this point, you don't want to be doing that. And definitely not on this stride. So this one, you're just very backside. You need to not bring the heel so it's kicking your butt. Try to swing it through the knee. Well, you do an okay job. This is bad. That's no bueno. So one, two, one, two, that's okay. This right leg is the problem. It's swinging through so low. I don't know why you're doing that on that right leg, but I would cue the right foot to do a similar thing to what I was cueing earlier. So swing the foot through the ankle, step over the calf, step over the knee. I mean, the left leg looks solid, but that right leg is hanging down a lot. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe a little bit. This is kind of like a powerlifting-esque. I'd want to see the shoulders a little higher. Um, So you might just be very hip dominant, but I would want to see you stay a bit taller. Try to do Olympic high bar style squat. I think it would be really, really good. Oh, not bad. Really not bad. See here, good, good, good. Shins are same thing. Get your shins vertical before you jump. So I'd want to see you're starting to jump here. I need you to push your knees back a hair more, keep your shoulders over the bar a hair more. You do a really good job getting back into position. I would assume the bar is going to float back in front. It actually doesn't. You do a good job with this. I mean, it's a little unconventional, but it's functional and it looks strong for you. I wouldn't say it's not a major issue. When I watch that, it's 95% proficient, 96% proficient, but there's little things that you could probably improve on. This looks like David again. Oh, it's calves. Okay. Let me see how you did these. I think this is your single leg. So I would actually lean. Oh, shit, that's tough in that position. I would just go double leg for you in this. Like if this is your setup, I would go double leg because your standards aren't weighted, so you can't lean against them. This is an okay option, and I've done it before, but I'd probably just go double leg and just load it up in that scenario. You're doing an okay job considering your limitations, but like as far as space, but it's not bad. I like the King Tut or the Nutcracker, full size, life size Nutcracker. Oh, that's not bad. It's doing that drag, staying really tall. Okay, so you're leaning back a shit ton here. I don't know what cue you're thinking of. You're, I mean, you do reposition, but it's like this is somewhat what Isaiah does, but less. You're not displacing at all. You're just repositioning your limbs. So for you, I'd want to see damn, there's a lot here to unpack. I'd want to see you leaning forward here, right? You can still keep this bouncy approach. Really lean forward here. Instead, you're uprighting completely. And so what that does is it's going to require a ton of mobility in your hip. This is a very hard thing to fix if you don't have mobility in your hip because you're not going to be able to get much extension. You're not going to be able to accelerate off this stride very much. Isaiah does a really good job at this, and he's able to push through this and cover 10 feet. You're probably planning halfway in the paint, if not closer, which means you're just going to short the whole thing. You want to be about 12 feet. I think the free throw line's 12 feet from the front of the rim, Isaiah. Is that right?
Yeah, from the front.
So
Yeah.
you want to be about 10 to 11, 10 to 12 feet from the front of the rim when you're planning your penultimate step. You're probably like 6 or 7. So you need to be planting this foot back here and generating momentum off of this step. Now that might be difficult for you if you don't have a lot of mobility, but this is technically not a bad position. And then you're just really far leaned back and really vertical. So it's going to be really hard to use much of this momentum because you're braking so intensely on this stride. Really low, but braking a ton. Let me see. Do a pretty good job getting out of it though. It's really unconventional, but technically you're checking all the boxes. You're relatively low. Your block foot's maybe a little bit late. And that's probably the biggest thing. You probably need to get that block foot down a little faster. It's probably because you have no flight time here. And so that's going to make it near impossible to get your block foot into position. Your block foot should be about to touch down, like by here. It should be on the ground. So you're wasting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames, but you're super low and you're kind of using that to your advantage. So it's not bad. I would say plant a penultimate step further. Try to get your feet to land more in unison. Should be push, ba for the rhythm. Oh, that was really good. So you're actually bringing in so much speed, you're struggling to use it. Um, so the only thing I would tell you is jump straight up and down. Jump straight up and down. You have all the right positioning. This is like freaking perfect almost. But block foot's out in front. This is a little bit mistimed. The block foot should be down right here. So you're kind of like block foot is planting really late and your hands are really far out in front. So you're going to end up floating forward. Plant your block foot sooner. Like this is a little bit late. Same thing. What that's going to do is it's going to make it really hard for you to break all the horizontal momentum you have. You have a ton of horizontal momentum, but you're not able to take it straight up and down. You just kind of float forward, you over rotate. So get your block foot down sooner and take all that momentum vertically. That'll help you use it. And that was one of the big problems I had early on when I was learning how to jump off 2 feet.
Way better job of pumping the ball up. Way better. Yeah. Now you're just like an inch away vertical to hit that. That ball is still super out in front of you, and you're not generating momentum during the penultimate because the ball is so far in front of you. So you're letting it dribble out in front. You should have both hands on the ball. Here, let me do a walkthrough. I'll show you. You're dribbling out and doing the penultimate and going like that. So again, this is what you're doing. Going, jumping. You should have both hands on the ball. So how I do it is I dribble, gather as I take the support leg. Now I have both hands on the ball. It almost feels like I'm using the ball as a weight to generate momentum with. Right? So I'm dribbling, both hands are on the ball as I step, and then I push out, but I keep the ball tight, like to my body, right? Right now it's like super out ahead and it doesn't look controlled. You need to keep it close to your body, use it to generate momentum, but I'm not going like this or like this, right? Keeping it super tight. It's like this type of this type of motion, right? But combined with the penultimate step. So I'm here. Okay. So if you do that, you're gonna be able to get a way more aggressive penultimate and a higher jump as a result. Blake, this looks really good. You're losing a little bit of tension in your core. You can see like your torso is almost like collapsing a little bit. So just make sure you brace and the movement should be happening in your legs, not at your core. Your core should be like a rock, solid foundation. Let's take a gander here. Not too shabby. You are slowing down a ton, a ton. Look how much speed you're coming in, and then it just completely slows down as you take your penultimate. So running slower. Don't plant this foot so far out in front of you. See how far out in front that foot is compared to your center of mass? Your foot should be just in front of the hip. So it should be like right here where your knee's at. So you're planting a foot too far out in front of you. So slow down, plant underneath your hips. This part is honestly really good. You're over pushing a tiny bit. It's like John said earlier, you want to plant the 2 feet almost simultaneously. So that's the third thing I would think about. There's different cues you can try. One that was helping a lot of guys at dunk camp is almost like jump stop, like you know how you land both feet at the same time. Um, I would think about doing that. So those three things. So slow down, plant underneath your hips, plant both of the feet at the same time. You can see how much like momentum you're losing on that. It's like boom, foot hits, leaking energy, leaking energy, leaking energy, leaking energy, and losing all the momentum. So you have the output to dunk right now. Like just looking at you, you just gotta learn how to harness that output. Really good. This is damn near perfect. Knee bends there. You're I would think about upright rowing the bar more. So you're pulling the elbows like down too early. Get your elbows up as high as you can, and then get underneath the bar. Catch was really good. Yeah, really, really good. Dude, you are super mobile. You look coordinated. You have the potential to jump really high. If we just get you stronger and improve that jump technique. Oh yeah, you got
Oh, that looks
really good
really
mobility
good.
too. Yeah. I would elevate your heels on something and then try to go even lower. But yeah, you're mobile as hell. If you're a
Yeah,
young
but
dude, if you're a young dude, you're gonna jump really freaking high, dude.
I see
yeah,
limitless potential.
I'm 14, but when I go lower, I get like some butt wings, so I try to
Yeah, that's
uh
why I said elevate your heels. So get a plate, elevate your heels on
mm,
it, and you're gonna be able to go low without butt winking. But dude,
okay.
14 years old, you're gonna be a freak athlete. I can already, if you can fit, like above else, I want you to get good jump technique because you're at an age and you're jumping at a height where like it's okay to jump lower. You could spend 2 years jumping lower just to learn jump technique and it'll be worth
Yeah.
it. So really focus on that and your potential is limitless. Yeah, you have the mobility to where you can hit all the positions you need to. You can do all the lifts, right? You can squat deep, you can hinge really well, pull from the floor really well.
Zay, I'm gonna pull up Eric's because I think we missed it.
Okay.
Oh, sh
Damn.
did you see that?
Yeah.
What the f
Eric, you
Bro,
I did
you give
not
me
see this at
chills.
camp. Oh, this is crazy.
There's nothing to say here other than good job. What do you want me to say? This is perfect. It's beautiful. Look at this. Lobs it perfect. Plants here, lowers down, gets all the way to the rim, fucking yeets this thing with two. That had to feel so glorious.
It's cool seeing it's like at camp he did everything. Remember we were fixing his dunk his
Yeah,
dunks for a while. Like it's cool seeing the culmination of that.
that's awesome, Eric. No, no comment. Great work. Keep doing
Now
that.
now we get you jumping higher this year.
Yeah. I mean, that was a huge jump though for him, I feel
Yeah.
like. I do want to look at this one real quick, the sprint one for Josh. I'm gonna slow this down. Actually, I'll watch in full speed for a little bit because I don't want to. There's some pro tips for you guys when you watch sprint technique, watch in full speed and then watch in slow-mo. I mean, you're freaking rolling here for sure. Now let's watch in slow motion. We can get a little bit of a breakdown. Okay, so a little bit backside here. You can kind of see, yeah, it looks like you were a previous distance runner. You need to keep your hips higher, way higher. So this is really bad. The more you sink, that you lose a massive, massive amount on your upright sprint speed. We call this sitting. You do not want to see any displacement downwards. Um, so right here, you're landing in a pretty good spot, honestly. Like this is timed up really, really well. I just don't want to see this much yielding right here. You need to tap off the ground. So, a big cue I like is, and you can see your pelvis right here. So see how your ass is out? That's bad. We don't want that. We don't want to see this arch in the low back. That means that you're not going to be able to drive the knee as high, which I'm seeing. You're going to get more backside mechanics, and it just ends up being really bad. It's also a major hamstring risk. So you need to keep your hips under you, and you need to keep your hips higher and taller. I would tell you bounce off the ground. I want you to bounce off the ground, and I want you to keep the leg in front of the body. And the last cue I would say is feel the wind in your face. A lot of the time when you give guys cues like this, they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna like try to do X, Y, and Z, and then they forget to run fast. So I always like throwing that cue in there of like, do all these things, but still be running as fast as you possibly can. You need a stiffer contact. You need to have that leg damn near a pogo, a stiff pogo stick. It needs to feel like a super spring, a super bouncy ball. Right now, you're like a beach ball, and we want to minimize that as much as possible. So bounce down the track. Other than that, your timing and things like that are really, really good.
What should you do differently as a 1 foot jumper in training? All lifting exercises are with 2 foot, and there are no program plyos in the program yet. Right now, you are training to train. Training is going to get more specific. So once you get to month 3, month 4, that's when you're going to get the specific 1 foot stuff. But we have to build a foundation first.
Well, it doesn't look bad. So you actually are doing what I said previously. Your positioning and everything looks great, but you're forgetting to run fast. So this positioning, everything's good. Now I just want you to feel the wind in your face, get up to a higher momentum. Your positioning and everything's good. You gotta push yourself down the track. You gotta generate some momentum. Right now, you're just trying to hit all the technical aspects, but you're forgetting to do the most important thing, which is beat the best time that you've ever run. That's how you'll continue to run faster. A couple questions. I could do depth jumps from heights greater than my vertical without any pain. However, the whole aim of my cycle is to do that. Would it be worth changing my training cycle? Maybe. I need to regain elasticity in my right Achilles. I've lost a lot due to my right leg Achilles injuries. You're regaining elasticity through the sprinting, so I wouldn't necessarily like overload it to the point it's going to take time. I need to regain a good level of anaerobic endurance for the soccer season. I would get fit in season and focus on getting healthy and strong now. You're going to be doing endless running in season. Right now, we need to get you strong and increase your stiffness, and that'll increase your running economy so that in season you will just have to aerobic fitness increases super fast. Anaerobic pathways in soccer, RSA is fueled by aerobic pathways. So once you're in season, and you're practicing regularly, you're probably just going to get your fitness back immediately. I would not try to blow your load getting fit because that's not what determines your success in the sport. What determines your success in the sport is how fast am I and can I use that speed? If you're relatively healthy right now, you're definitely overdoing what you're supposed to be. I can change it. Oh, no, no, no. I see that on Thursday. Okay. Is it your quad or your quad tendon?
My quad muscle.
Okay, so we'll put you on a squat progression right now. The biggest thing is don't be pushing through pain. You should not feel it like a 2 or 3. Less is more. Less is more. Do not load it fast. Don't be playing sports right now. We've got to do some work to get your quad up to scuff when it comes to its capacity, its load capacity. So just be patient with it. Do what's on the program. And then if you have questions, you can ask the guys in the chat. Oh,
Oh
that's
shit.
way better than it was, dude. Way less squatty, way more elastic. Starting to use the energy in your legs. Yeah, you're getting like actual elastic energy out of your takeoff, which is really, really good.
Mm.
I mean, you're uprighting a little too early. So you're repositioning down, which is good, but I'd want to see you lower right here. So don't pop up as you take your penultimate step. Stay down. Think about Russ. Russ would never do this. Russ would get that snatched out of his hands immediately if he stood up like that. So keep your shoulders down, leading into the takeoff, and keep pushing hard. The timing looks way better though. But all right, that's all we have time for, guys. See you, boys.